Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 6:32 p.m. and a quorum of members is present, so the meeting of the Board of Education of the School District of New Berlin is called to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Crosby? Mr. Helmer?
Here.
Ms. Connick? Mr. Kurth? Ms. Schultz?
Here.
Mr. Seidel?
Here.
Ms. Wondricek?
Here. Ms. Crosby let me know that she is not able to attend this evening. So then we need a motion to move to recess to closed session.
Madam President, I move to recess into executive closed session pursuant to Section 19.851 C, E, and F of the Wisconsin statutes to consider A, the superintendent mid-year review, B, the approval of closed session minutes of June 27th, C, employment services report. And second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Kurth and a second by Mr. Helmer. Please call the roll.
Mr. Kurth?
Yes.
Mr. Helmer?
Yes.
Ms. Connick? Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Mr. Seidel?
Yes.
Ms. Wondricek?
Yes. We're moving to closed session and we'll return to open session around 7 o'clock. It is now 7:01, and we're returning from closed session into open session. In recognition of the serious and important nature of our efforts here, we will join in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. For all those who are able, please rise. And now for those who wish to prepare for the meeting, we will have a moment of silence. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education. Prior to this meeting, notice was given to the public last Friday by providing the agenda to the City Library. The agenda was also posted on the district website. A copy of the agenda was forwarded to the Journal-Sentinel, the Waukesha Freeman, and the Waukesha Now, all of which have filed requests for all public notices. And currently, we don't have anybody for privilege of the floor. All right. And I don't really have anything for President's message. So we'll move right into the administrative team report.
Yeah, so a few updates I wanted to provide. The first one was I wanted to let the board know that we recently participated as part of the fundraising efforts with the Education Foundation of New Berlin and our elementary and secondary booster clubs. We ended up providing beverages at a tent during the 4th of July celebration. And I'm glad to be able to note that we raised approximately $19,000, not only in sales, but then, cash tips as well as tips on cards. So I want to give a shout out to Julie Cordero, the director of the foundation, as well as all the folks that came to help. It truly was a great community effort and approach. Not just our little part of the tent, but the entire thing is quite the accomplishment for a community like New Berlin. Unfortunately, we got rained out the last night, so maybe we could have made a little bit more, but Rebel Grace was good, and we had our boots on, and we had fun despite, just got cut off a little early. So thank you to all of those that helped with that and getting us moving in that effort. I also wanted to let the board know that I've been on a 2-year venture. AASA is my National Superintendents Association. The board had encouraged me to seek professional development opportunities to be able to kind of bring things back and kind of learn from others throughout. And quite honestly, we have been doing a lot of work regionally in Southeast Wisconsin, and I thought, why don't I kind of step out and see if I can't work with a group of national level superintendents. I was in a cohort of approximately 40 individuals from throughout the United States, and we completed a 2-year program, and now I am an AASA National Certified Superintendent. Extremely proud of that accomplishment. I do want to thank the board for their support in allowing me to participate. I certainly learned a lot. It's interesting how many of the situations are similar across districts, whether they're small, large, in Wisconsin, in North Carolina, in Washington, and so on. It's just certainly the individual and independent lens of the local community and the local school board certainly is what makes the difference. And certainly I'm extremely proud to have been a part of that and extremely proud of the work that we are doing in the school district of New Berlin. And it's not to take away from any of the other individuals that I worked with, but certainly we are no slouches as a district, and that was evidenced in the discussions and the work that we were doing with that group. So again, thank you, board, for allowing me to do that. And certainly at this point, I am continuing to work with the WCTC and others for professional development, as I have been over the course of the last several years as well. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations on your certification. Then we have our district reports. We have the incident report, financial reports, and donation report. Mr. Seidel, would you please read the donation report?
It would be my pleasure. First check was from the Orchard Lane PFC, cover the cost of a new K-5 welcome bags in the amount of $252.62. The approved date was 6/13/2022. The next was from Ronald Reagan Home and School to pay for the staff Rockin' Reagan Day t-shirts in the amount of $285.75, and the approval date was 6/9/2022. The next one was the New Berlin West Youth Football Club to support a scholarship in the amount of $2,000, and the approval date was 6/23/2022, bringing our total donations to $2,541.37. Thank you to our generous donors, and that ends my report.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, which contains notice, approved minutes of June 27th, approved minutes of June 13th work session, and approved minutes of June 27th work session. Are there any items that should be pulled out for separate consideration? Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Seidel and a second by Mr. Helmer to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Motion passes. On to our regular agenda. First up, we have approve of board goals developed in the June 27th meeting. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. So, paper towel, please. Thank you. So I took all the notes from our work session during our last meeting and put together this short presentation here with the goals. So I have here, for the first one, is the student achievement. And the objective is to constantly strive to increase student achievement through opportunities and accountability. So actually, I should start. We'll have a motion to approve this, but I just wanted to go through this real quick before we do that. Just a moment, I want to bring up a closer presentation so I can see it better. And keep in mind, as I went through our notes for what we discussed, I tried to word these in a way that it is our goals as a board, what we can do, because I know sometimes it's really easy to cross over into what is it we want the administration to do. So this is really like, what is it that we as a board want to accomplish this year? And yes, in many ways, it is pretty much holding the administration accountable. So I just tried to word this in a way that it's things that we can do. So then the second one is for staff. And that is to increase job satisfaction and make the school district an attractive employer. And then under that as well, I have key items that we want to see happen. And then for the third one, fiscal objectives, act with fiscal responsibility and be good stewards of physical assets, with the key results under that. And then number 4 was our community, and that is engage the community more through the EDGE newsletter and facilities rental, with key results. And then these 4 goals, these are in line with the strategic plan that the school district administration does have, so this should align with them. So do I have a motion to approve the board goals for 2022-23 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Helmer, second by Mr. Seidel. Discussion? We can certainly amend these if you feel that I didn't capture them according to how we discussed. You have something?
Yeah, just on the, I noticed in both the first objective, the student achievement objective, and the staff objective, I'm wondering if we need to, for the first goal, the 4th bullet point, Janet, it says support the administration to increase ACT scores by 5%. I mean, we're supporting the staff and the administration, right? Let's not just administration, because I mean, we want to support the teachers and everything too, right? Is that?
Oh, that's fine. I think I just put that in there because when we were discussing it, we were talking about how we want to see ACT scores increase, but you're correct, because it's really not our job.
Yeah, right.
But we're here to support. So yes,
Right.
I think we can add staff in if
Yeah.
everybody's okay with that.
And
Okay.
the same comment on the fourth bullet point on the second objective as well. Because I think that I feel like if I remember correctly, this discussion, it was staff that was saying that they had so many, teachers principally, had a lot of meetings and they wanted to try to cut back on some of those meetings. So if we could, I'm sure the administration would also like to have less meetings.
Oh,
but
I
maybe-
meant it that way. I'm sorry, because the administration's the one who's setting the meetings.
Sure.
So it was us supporting them to get the meetings reduced for the
Okay, so
staff.
I
So
didn't
maybe
understand it
reword
in that wording. Yeah,
okay.
Maybe, if we could maybe do, that'd be great.
All
'Cause
right.
I think that's how I understood that.
Okay, so maybe it should be support the administration to reduce
Staff
reduce meetings.
Maybe to reduce staff meeting?
Yeah, to reduce staff meetings and increase prep time for
I would just put for staff at the end.
staff at the end. Okay.
you wanna reduce
Support the administration to reduce meetings and increase prep time for staff. Sound good? All right. So we have two amendments. I think we can stick those amendments together. Okay. Anything else? No?
I would propose approval of this
Oh.
with the two amendments.
I'm sorry.
You have another one?
I just had a question about the fourth objective, about the community objective, increasing the facilities rental usage by 15% over the next 12 months. Where are we at with current facility usage?
Sorry. Yeah, I meant to tell you about that. I forgot.
I'm aware,
Okay, you saw.
it's just a matter of what's going to be our baseline.
Yeah.
What is going to be our baseline to be able to measure that?
And you know what?
Right. And I was just wondering, I want to make sure it's an achievable goal. I mean, because I don't even know what we do right now. And then if we say we want as a goal to be 15%, if that's not realistic, then we're shooting at the moon and who cares?
I mean, I think it's a stretch goal, but I think it's a realistic one.
Okay.
Quite honestly.
Sure.
That's
great.
One of the board, now in the probably fourth year when we had 3 new board members 3 years ago, that was something that was top of mind. Obviously, we shut down for part of that
Yeah.
time. And it's nice to be able to kind of get back into what our areas of focus are. It was something that the budget balancing task force, even before that, also suggested as well. So I think it's a lofty goal, but I think it's something that it's top of mind. We've invested resources in it, and while lofty, we're gonna go for it.
I think we only have 1 year really of baseline of tracking it. Because, I mean, we've had facility usage rental before, but it's paper forms and everything else, so.
Agreed.
I've got a quick question. It's sort of in regards to this, but we had made a discussion about permits for possibly like a beer and wine license for other events. Where are we along with that?
We literally received a legal opinion on this last week. We still have questions that we are trying to work through, but we will have an update for the board as it relates to that.
So actually, I realized as I was reading this, I'm like, it's written in a way, really, these are administration goals. So, I mean, maybe just slightly tweak it to like, we're here to support the administration to increase facilities rental and also support administration to increase the subscriptions to the Edge. And like, for instance, a way to do that is how we've been saying, let's see what we can do about the liquor license so that we could increase rentals. So should we change that also? What do you guys think? Yeah, okay. But let's just change that wording a little bit to make it very specific that it's what we're doing and not what the administration's doing. Anything else? Okay. So then you want to do an amendment?
Should I amend my motion?
Well, you didn't really do a motion yet, so. Oh, well, yeah, you made the motion.
made the
You're
motion.
right, yeah.
But that was to put it on the table.
Okay, so we've discussed it now, so the next thing is to amend the motion.
So, yeah. I'd like to amend my motion to include the 3 changes that we discussed.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend by Mr. Helmer and a second by Mr. Seidel. Any more discussion? Okay, so all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Motion passes. On to our next item. We have discussed an approval of the annual declaration and parent notice of the district's student academic standards that will be in effect for the 2022-2023 school year pursuant to Section 120.1213 and Section 118.30 1G(a)(1) of the state statutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Helmer and a second by Mr. Kurth. Any discussion?
We are required to have these approved by the board annually. They are provided on our website, posted on our website, and referred to as needed. We recommend approval as presented.
Any questions? I was just comparing it to last year, and I noticed that last year there was a notation there that there were some standards that were being phased out. So that's completed now for English. That was English.
Yes.
All right, then all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes. And then we have our action items discussed in closed session.
I move to approve the employment services report as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth, a second by Mr. Seidel. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes. Then we have our future meetings and dates. Board meetings are generally held the second and fourth Mondays beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Eisenhower Commons, unless noted otherwise. So we have a to-be-determined personnel committee meeting that will be set within the next few weeks or so. Then we have Monday, August 8th, 7 o'clock p.m. is a regular meeting. Preceded is a facilities committee meeting at 5:30. Monday, August 22nd at 7 o'clock is a regular meeting, and then Monday, September 12th, 7 o'clock is also another regular meeting. And other important events and dates is the annual budget hearing meeting. That will be Monday, September 26th at 7 o'clock p.m. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Helmer, a second by Mr. Kurth. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned.